No uncircumcised allowed. Yeah! Father, I'm already 13 years old. And my classmates are teasing me. I want to be a circumcised. I want to be a man.
Yes, I think you should. Well, go to your doctor first thing tomorrow. Good morning, Doc. I would like my son to be circumcised.
Okay, get inside. The father could just wait and sit here. Okay. The human male reproductive system consists of a number of sex organs that are a part of the human reproductive process. In the case of men, these sex organs are located outside a man's body around the pelvic region. The common parts of the male reproductive organ are the bladder, penis, foreskin, the urethral opening, scrotum, testis, epididymis, vas deferens, prostate gland, and the seminal vesicle. The main male sex organs are the penis and the testes, which produce semen and sperm, which as part of sexual intercourse fertilize an ovum in a woman's body. And the fertilized ovum or zygote gradually develops into a fetus, which is later born as a child.
Do you wanna have some fun?
Within a week of conception, your fertilized egg, known as a blastocyst, will make its way to your uterus. The egg is about the size of a pen tip. In days, the cells in the egg arrange themselves into groupings. The inner cell mass will become your baby. The outer cells will become the amniotic sac and placenta. The blastocyst then sheds its protective casing in a process called hatching and burrows into the lush uterine wall. Around week 5, your developing baby is the size of a sesame seed. The cells that once formed the blastocyst's inner cell mass begin organizing and arranging, giving shape to the young embryo and forming primitive organs. Your baby's brain and spinal cord are visible through his translucent skin. Right around this time, your baby's circulatory system also forms, and his heart begins to beat. Your baby looks more like a tiny tadpole than a human. He's drawing nutrients and oxygen through the newly formed placenta and umbilical cord. By week 9, the embryonic tail is gone. Your baby's looking more human every day. Protruding limbs and fingers, a defined nose, mouth, and eyes, and tiny earlobes. Your new resident is about the size of a grape and weighs a fraction of an ounce. It's hard to believe how rapidly one cell evolves in such a short time into the unmistakable body of a baby. At 10 weeks and barely the size of a kumquat, your baby is entering the fetal stage of development. His facial features are defined, and his tooth buds are forming. Over the next weeks, his tissues and organs will rapidly grow and mature. The webbing is gone between his fingers and toes, and his nails and fingerprints are developing. Your baby can open and close his fists and curl his toes. Thanks to his developing muscles and reflexes, He's now moving his limbs and kicking up a storm. If this is your first baby, though, you likely won't feel his flutters until 18 to 20 weeks. Through translucent skin, his vital organs are visible and functioning, including his growing brain, nervous system, intestines, and liver, which is making red blood cells in place of the disappearing yolk sac. The umbilical cord is working hard now. One vein delivers oxygen and nutrient-rich blood to your baby. 2 arteries then carry the blood away. Around week 12, the kidneys have begun producing urine, which your baby will soon start excreting into the amniotic fluid. He'll swallow the fluid and the process will begin again. By week 14, your baby's eyes and ears have moved into place, and he can squint, frown, and grimace. You're now beginning the second trimester of pregnancy, which many women say is when they feel their best. Between 15 and 20 weeks, your baby will more than double in size. As his body grows, his nervous system is rapidly maturing. His nerves are connecting his brain to the rest of his body, traveling from the brain through the brainstem and down the spine, and beginning to extend into his torso and limbs. Your baby's skeleton is changing too. The soft cartilage is starting to harden into bone. This happens first in the arms and legs. Sensory development is picking up speed. Your baby's brain is designating special areas for smell, taste, hearing, vision, and touch. At this stage, your baby may be able to hear your heartbeat and voice, so read aloud or sing a happy tune. Your baby may even be sucking his thumb now. At about 18 weeks, you'll start to experience one of the most exciting parts of pregnancy, feeling your baby's movements. His flexing arms and legs may feel like gentle flutters at first. They'll become even stronger and more frequent in the weeks ahead. At 20 weeks, your baby weighs a little more than 10 ounces and measures about 10 inches from head to heel, about the length of a banana. This week is a big milestone, the halfway point in your pregnancy. Between 21 and 27 weeks, your baby's sense of touch is developing, along with his unique fingerprints. When you rub or gently press on your belly, you may feel your baby squirm or kick in response. He can feel his own face now, as well as anything within his reach, including the umbilical cord. He'll keep experimenting with and refining his sense of touch. Around 23 weeks, your baby can swallow. Soon after, you may notice fetal hiccups. Don't worry, hiccups are a normal part of development, and it's common for your baby to have them several times a day. His lungs are also forming millions of tiny branches called bronchioles. Incredibly, your baby is already practicing breathing by inhaling and moving small amounts of amniotic fluid in and out of his lungs. At 24 weeks, the baby is capable of surviving outside the uterus with significant medical help. At 27 weeks, your baby's eyelids may open as a reflex, but he can't see yet. His lips are formed, and he now has tiny taste buds on his tongue. He weighs nearly 2 pounds and is about 14.5 inches long. Now there's just one more trimester to go. You and your baby are beginning your last trimester together. At 28 weeks, your baby weighs just over 2 pounds. He'll more than triple his weight between now and birth and build a layer of fat that will help keep him warm outside the womb. Your baby's skeleton is hardening. The bones in his head have not yet fused together, which will allow them to slightly overlap as his head passes through the snug space of the birth canal. Billions of neurons have developed and are firing in your baby's brain, creating essential connections that will help him learn in and outside the womb. Your baby can open his eyes now and see the light that filters through your womb. He can hear too, so go ahead and talk or sing to your baby. As your due date nears, your baby will shed small bits of vernix caseosa, the white cheesy substance that covers his entire body and protects his skin from the amniotic fluid he's floating in. Your baby swallows some of these bits, along with other secretions, which pass through his digestive system to become his first bowel movement. At 37 weeks, your baby's skin is pink and soft. He's looking less like a wrinkled alien and more like a baby. He's gaining nearly 1 ounce a day and weighs about 6 pounds. He's now considered full term. In preparation for birth, most babies will turn so their head is facing downward. Your baby will stay that way, head resting in your pelvic area, as he gets ready to greet the world.
Doc, my wife is about to give birth.
Come on, let's hurry. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Squarepants. It's a bouncing baby girl. Thank you very much, Doc. The female reproductive system contains two main parts. The uterus, which hosts the developing fetus, produces vaginal and uterine secretions and passes the male sperm through to the fallopian tubes, and the ovaries, which produce the female's egg cells. The vagina is attached to the uterus through the cervix, while the uterus is attached to the ovaries via fallopian tubes. The parts of the female reproductive organ are the fallopian tube, ovaries, uterus, cervix, and the vagina.